Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. Let's talk about Rotaract. It's amazing to see so many of you joining this evening, and actually from many places from Europe. And thank you for being here and ready to learn and share and be inspired. But before we begin, let me introduce myself. I'm Venanzia Rizzi, and I'm the Zone 17 Rotary Membership Coordinator. And Zone 17 include Finland, Estonia, Sweden, Latvia, and Russia. And together with my counterpart from Zone 18, we have arranged this webinar, and I have the pleasure to introduce Mingaile.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mingaile Shera. I'm a Rotary Membership Coordinator, Zone 18. And in Zone 18, we have 14 districts, 666 clubs, around 20,000 people. And countries are Norway, Denmark, Iceland, Lithuania, Poland, and yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Mingaile. Now I want to recognize also my team. Please, Marty.
I just say hello because I'm busy admitting people in.
Thank you, Marty, for your help with the Zoom. Hannele?
Hello, everyone. I'm Hannele Sjö from Sweden, and I have a team at 6 MDC in my team. So I look forward to this meeting because I'm new in this Venanzia team. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. And Essie?
Hello, everyone. My name is Essie. I'm a Rotaract here in Sweden, in Malmö, and I'm a member of the Malmö Lund International Club and also part of Venanzia's team as an assistant membership coordinator.
Thank you. And I see that we have our director of our both zones here. Susan, please introduce yourself.
Yes, hello everybody. My name is Susan Stenberg. I come from Åre up in Sweden, and I'm the director for Zone 17 and 18 this year. And looking forward to this. Nice to see you all.
Thank you, Susan. So, Rotaract, it's so much more than just a young branch of Rotary. It's a global movement of young people united by friendship, service, and leadership. And tonight, we will focus on very important themes such as understanding the true meaning of being a Rotaract, attracting young people to Rotary and Rotaract, and creating new clubs, and retaining existing members. And finally, transition to the Rotary. So we have an exciting lineup of speakers who will share their experiences, ideas, and stories from the field. And our goal tonight is very simple: to create a space for dialogue, exchange ideas, and show how Rotaract can empower young people while strengthening the wider Rotary community. So I encourage all of you to participate actively, ask questions after our speakers, and let yourself be inspired. Our first speaker this evening is my counterpart from Italy, the Rotary Membership Coordinator, Davide Gallasso from Zone 15, and you will tell which countries include, and he will share the Rotaract experience in the very first European country where a Rotaract club has been established. So welcome, Davide.
Thank you, Venanzia. Good evening, everybody. Just a little note, it's Region 15, which is Zone 14, because Rotary likes to make things more complicated. Zone 15 is Germany.
Okay, sorry.
No, don't worry. It's Zone 14, Region 15, and the countries are Italy, Malta, and San Marino. So basically, Italy and two small countries which are part of the region. Thank you very much for this invitation. I'm so honored to be here and so happy to be here. Venanzia is a close friend. We met even before the GSS, but then we did the training together. That was great. And I'm really glad and I appreciate that. I'm a former Rotaractor, so I love Rotaract. I believe in Rotaract. And I'm so happy that you decided to have a seminar dedicated to Rotaract. I always found a special energy in Rotaract and also in Rotarians who have been Rotaractors before becoming Rotarians. There's something different, something more in there. And I think it's very, very important to speak about Rotaract and to invest in Rotaract. And another thing I appreciated a lot is that the seminar combines the two zones, 17 and 18. I'm trying to do the same with zone 13, which is France, which is the other zone under the same board director, Alain Van der Poel. And I'm working closely with Jocelyn Degal, which is the RMC from France, because I think it's important. This is a way of uniting for good. Okay, so it's very important this year even more. And we are one big family, so sharing thoughts and ideas, sharing successes, but and also sharing failures. I think that's fundamental to improve and to grow. And it is not a secret, it has been said already, that Rotaract membership globally has been declining for many years. Despite some excellent results in areas such Asia, mostly Africa, Africa is growing crazily, but globally it has been declining and sometimes even with big numbers. If I can share, just I don't want to become boring with figures and slides, but just to give you an idea, this is something that came this week from Evanston, and you can say what happened in the last 5 years at the global level. As you can see, there's been a strong decline from 2020 to 2025. We lost not half, but more than 1/3 of Rotaract members worldwide. But there are two good signs in this slide. First one is that Europe has shown some resilience if compared to other Western countries, and so European countries have a stronger Rotaract. And the second and even more important good thing is that if you can see from 2024 to 2025, there has been a spike. So we reversed the trend and Rotaract is growing now. We went up to 132,000 members at 1st of July 25, and we're still growing because the numbers as of August 31st, the last report I downloaded, are even higher, and we're still growing. So this is good. And this is also due, I heard Vanessa speak about new clubs. This is also new to chartering of new clubs. I scroll down quickly to another slide. Only in 2024-2025 in the EMEA region, there were 220 new Rotaract clubs, 52 in Europe and 168 in Africa. I said before, Africa is growing. And this is very important because if you look at the number of clubs from 2024 to 2025, in total, we have one more Rotaract club in Europe, but 52 were chartered. It means we lost 51. Okay, so that's another reason why it's very, very important to keep growing and to keep chartering new clubs to allow not losing too many members. But let me I go back. How can I stop this sharing? Okay. Let me go back to what I was saying. As I said, there are very good signs now. And one more thing, 2024-2025 has been a record-breaking year for the Rotaract giving to the Rotary Foundation. There's been an increase globally of around 30% in Rotaract giving to the foundation. That's something new. But I've been called here to speak also about my region, about Italy, Malta, and San Marino, because in fact it has been historically the best region in Europe for many reasons. In August 31st, we had 453 clubs and more than 6.6 thousand members in Italy, and a little bit small numbers in Malta and San Marino. If you compare it to Germany, which is the second largest Rotaract membership in a country that is much bigger than Italy, they have 194 clubs and 3,000 members. So 1/4 of the clubs and less than half the members that Italy has. So what are the factors of this success? Because they could be something to use and to promote in order to increase membership all over Europe. Well, On the one hand, the historical presence of Rotaract in Europe, in Italy, the first Rotaract club in Europe was founded in 1968 in Florence. So we started earlier, and that may be one of the reasons why we grew more. There's a very good distribution of clubs throughout the whole territory of the country. So you can find Rotaract clubs almost everywhere. And they do very, very good service projects. So they become attractive for youngsters because they see what they can do. Projects in which there is a very good cooperation with Rotary clubs. So it is true that there is not much transition from Rotaract to Rotary, and that's a problem. But at least at service level, there's very good cooperation between the two worlds in Italy. And I have always found very, very strong leadership skills in Rotaractors, in Italian Rotaractors, especially those who have roles such as club president or district representative. They are very, very good leaders, and that's attractive, and that keeps the group together. Of course, we also face some criticalities in the past years, some hardships. The society is evolving really fast. The job market is changing. Youngsters are traveling all over the world, and that made it more difficult to remain in Rotaract clubs. And the biggest problem is what I said before: 90% of Rotaractors leave Rotaract and do not enter a Rotary club. And that's crazy. That's really crazy because they share the same values. They know what we are, who we are, and so why they do not join. Probably that's because they cannot find in current Rotary clubs the offer that they're looking for, what they need, what they expect to find. And this is a way, this is something in which we need to work a lot. I believe strongly, as I said before, in Rotaract, and I believe that Rotaract membership requires a strong attention from both Rotaract and Rotary, because there's undeniable strengths. Think about just one, there are many, but think about the diversity in membership of Rotaract. Think about the fact that there is no gender gap in Rotaract clubs worldwide. And maybe this is not something strange for Northern European countries, but if you look at the numbers in Middle Eastern countries where women have big problems in being recognized in the society, there are 50% in Rotaract clubs. And I think this is so promising for a better world tomorrow that we cannot stop investing in Rotaract clubs. It is a great school of leadership for youngsters. It is the natural source for looking for new Rotarians. So we need to make it easier for Rotaractors to become Rotarians. And so that's also important for the growth, and also, let me see, for the survival of Rotary in the future. And I think also we have the tools. We have the tools to do it. First of all, we need to understand and apply properly the concept of integrate Rotaract, which has probably been misunderstood. Integrating does not mean merging, does not mean eating the Rotaract into the Rotary world. It means working together, preserving and giving value to the Rotaract identity, because this is needed to create sense of belonging. I received this kind of feedback from Rotaractors a lot of times. We need to promote their leadership. We need to involve them and hear their voices also in decision-making environments at Rotary level. And as I said before, we need to invest in new clubs. And when I mean new clubs, I'm not only talking about creating new clubs, but creating new club of new models, new and more innovative club models, where Rotaractors and in general younger members can find what they're looking for and what is appropriate for their living style, for their working style, for their needs. I think also I read about very interesting examples of interest-based new clubs where the interest is professional development. So think about a club that has as a focus the professional development of its members. How attractive can it be for youngsters approaching the job market? I think it would be, and it's not known. So this is very important, and we need to invest and work on it. And consolidating and strengthening Rotaract membership, as I said before, is a must, in my opinion, to strengthen also Rotary. Think about cooperation in service projects. Think about supporting the Rotary Foundation, as I said before. Think about creating the basis for future members who already know and share the same values, who know what it means to do Rotary service, who can guarantee, as I said already, a more diverse and inclusive membership, and probably who are more likely to be receptive to the evolution and the needs of today's society, much more than older Rotarian members. So all these are key elements for success, not only of Rotaract, but also of Rotary. So as an enthusiast Rotaractor who has become an even more enthusiast Rotarian, please allow me to say long live Rotaract, and thank you for this invitation. Thank you for giving me the space to speak at this important seminar. And I'm eager to listen to the other speakers today and even more to the voices of Rotaractors which are connected to the seminar. And if there are any questions, of course, I will try to answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Davide. Very, very nice points you have touched. And I'm sure we will come after our next speakers. In the end, we will have a nice discussion on these points. Thank you. Next, we will hear from two passionate Rotaractors, Esi Otto and Renatas Kandrotas, and they will be sharing with us their personal stories and insights from the field. So please, Esi.
Thank you very much. I'm going to share a few slides here. So give me a minute while I pull it up. Can you see my screen? Right, perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. So my name is Essie, as I said earlier, and I'm a Rotaractor in Sweden. I live in Malmö. And today I want to share a little bit of my Rotaract journey, and I will also touch a little bit on the impact that Rotaract has had in my life personally, and also from my country and here in Sweden. And finally, I will end by speaking about how we can engage more Rotaractors into Rotary and how we can attract the younger generation into Rotary. So the vision of Rotary is basically to empower students and young people to make an impact in the world and to also develop leadership and professional skills. And as it has been said earlier, we don't do this in isolation. We have more impact if we are able to collaborate closely with Rotary clubs in our district and also internationally. And talking a little bit about the meaning of Rotaract and the impact that it has, I love to use the abbreviation PIGA, which is purpose, identity, growth, and then impact. Most of the time when people think about Rotaract, they only think about young people, they think about students, they think about people who don't perhaps have enough experience. But I have been a Rotaractor for the past 10 years, and I know for sure that Rotaract is none of these things. Rotaract is full of very experienced and qualified young people. And as Davide said, there's a lot of experience and expertise in Rotaract because the institution of Rotaract gives us the opportunity to gain leadership skills and to be able to fail and try at leadership and professionalism in a very safe environment. And we are able to do it with other young, bright minds. So it helps us to learn a lot, leadership-wise and also in a professional setting. We have opportunities to connect with other Rotaractors all over the world. We have our Rotaract conferences, international conferences. So Rotaract is not just limited to a local Rotaract club, but just like Rotary, we have our identity as Rotaractors. We have an international and multinational family of Rotaractors all over the world. And for G, I say it's for growth. We grow professionally, we grow in our leadership skills, we grow by making impacts wherever we find ourselves. And as Rotaractors, we always believe that we are doing something that is bigger than ourselves. I will share a few slides from my experience as a Rotaractor and a few projects that I was able to participate in, which made a huge impact in how I view the world and has changed my perspective about myself and also about the world. The value we get from Rotaract, as I mentioned earlier, is leadership development, professional growth, being able to feel a sense of urgency in serving the community one finds themselves in, being socially responsible, and also connecting globally with other young, passionate people. And every Rotaractor will tell you that Rotaract has helped them to acquire many, many long life friends. And I believe if we ask Davide, he would attest that he still has contact with his Rotaractor friends from back in the day and many other Rotaractors all over the world. So it's an avenue for us to create networks that are very important for us personally and to help us create a hub where we are able to even increase our impact by collaborating with people all over the world. So in my personal experience, I'll share a couple of projects that I've done over the years. One of them is a project that I helped organize in Benin, which is a country in West Africa. And we did a health outreach in a deprived community where we were able to gather doctors, Rotary doctors within the region to be able to serve this community. I was able to also participate in a project in renovating a special school in Ghana. And this was a high school for kids with autism. And their playground had been dejected. And as Rotaractors, we were able to brainstorm, raise funds to be able to renovate this playground so that kids can just be kids and play comfortably and live a happy life like all other ordinary kids. I have also participated in literacy projects, in book donations in certain regions in Ghana. We also organized sickle cell awareness projects, breast cancer awareness projects, beach cleanup exercises, blood donations, which is very, very critical from where I come from. We also did breast cancer and cervical cancer screening because we found that in many communities, many women are not privy to checking their status on breast cancer and cervical cancer. So by the time they find out, it would be too late and they would be at a very terminal stage. And sometimes, unfortunately, they end up losing their lives. So this is one of the projects that really touched me a lot, and we were very passionate about this because we felt that it was very important to help society in this way and to save the lives of women in the country. We also participated in the Read to Lead project, where we were able to create library cards for over 400 kids in the capital city of Ghana. And a shoe donation exercise where we gave our shoes to kids who were not able to walk the mile to go to school because they couldn't find any shoes. And so they had to stay at home and miss their school schedule. So this was also a very important project that as Rotaractors we were able to participate in. So I showed these images to just give an idea of the impact that Rotaractors are making all over the world. Rotaract is not just a club, and we are not just young people. We are young people with a vision, and our vision transcends ourselves. We are service-minded. We, just like Rotary clubs, we take care of our finances. We plan our projects. We brainstorm. We work together collaboratively. So we do a lot in Rotaract. And if I had my own way, every young person in the world will be a Rotaractor because I believe that it is a stepping stone to building on one's life. And for me, the impact that Rotaract has had in my life is really great because before I joined Rotaract, I didn't know that as a young person, I had the capacity to do all of this. Because growing up, one would believe that everything that in the society revolves around government officials or politicians because they have the final say and they need to do something. So let's just wait on them to do something. But Rotaract helped me to understand that I, as a young person, can make a change in the world. I can collaborate with other young people to do something beneficial and change the lives of people. So for me, that is one of the greatest impacts that Rotaract has had in my life, that I can take my life in my own hands and make the changes that are necessary for myself and for the people around me. So how do we attract young people to join Rotary? And this is a big question for many people. because we find that, like Davide said, we find that when people pass through Rotaract, they are often hesitant to join Rotary. I think there are different ideas about Rotary, but I believe that Rotary is also very special. I myself am a Rotaractor and a Rotarian at the same time, and I love being in both worlds. So one of the things that I believe Rotary can do to attract more young people is to be relatable. When you ask a young Rotaractor, one of the first things that comes to their mind is that Rotary has a lot of older people and they don't find them exciting. I have friends in different countries who still choose to remain in Rotaract because they feel like they won't be able to fit in when they move to a Rotary club. So there has been instances where Rotaractors gather themselves to start a Rotary club made up of younger people in their generation. But I believe that it will be also nicer for Rotaractors to move on to Rotary clubs in their region and continue to create impacts. But Rotary clubs can facilitate that by being more relatable, by communicating through channels where Rotaractors are. So if your target audience are younger people and Rotaractors, you have to make an effort to meet them where they are. And you can do this through your publicity or through your communication channels. A lot of Rotaractors are on Facebook, but most people are also on Instagram and LinkedIn. So I always find it really fun when I find a Rotary club that communicates across almost all channels, because that is how you can get impact. You have to be on Instagram, you can still be on Facebook, but also think about LinkedIn, because young professionals are on LinkedIn and they are very active on there. We also have to think about how we storytell our projects. We have to put the youth at the forefront. We have to partner with them, partner with student bodies. You hit a jackpot if you have a university in your local community. You partner with the student bodies. They have student unions. That is one of the ways where you can connect with young people and bring them to the world of Rotary. You can also invite young people in your community to become guest speakers. And by that one invitation, they would be more like someone who would give testimony of Rotary to the other young people they have in their network. Another thing we can do to bring young members into Rotary is to provide them a mentorship path. And by this, I'm talking about Rotaractors and Interactors, because Interactors later become Rotaractors, and then Rotaractors go on to become Rotarians. So we can't dismiss that foundation. We have to be there for them and actively engage with them. One of the innovative things that I have seen by a Rotary Club is done by the Malmo International Rotary Club in my district, in District 2395. And they have this program called the Open Door Program. So twice in a year, they invite 4 young people for free. They give them membership, but the club takes care of that membership and they provide mentorship for that person. So every year, twice, I think in the summer and in autumn, they open applications for young people to apply to this program. And I believe that that is a very creative way of getting young people to join your club. And for this particular club, their average age, it's a Rotary club, but their average age is, I think, 28 or 29, which is really impressive because most Rotary clubs have a much elderly age average. So that is one of the things to consider. Another thing is also to be flexible as a club. And with this, I would invite all Rotarians here to have like a genuine introspection about your club culture. Is your club culture inviting? Is it inclusive? Will a young person who walk into your doors at your next meeting feel comfortable to come again? And I believe that once you ask these important questions, you'll be able to make the changes that will reflect in the visitors or the guests that you come to be able to stay and to keep coming to your meetings. Lastly, I would talk about partnerships. And I believe that partnerships are important because once we are able to create impact together, both Rotary and Rotaract, we have a network and it's easier for someone to move from Rotaract into Rotary because there's been a bridge already. So we don't have to wait for Rotaractors to reach a certain age before we reach out to them. Right from the onset, there has to be a partnership, there has to be a link so that it's natural to just flow into Rotary. So that is all I had for today. And I have a little call of action to each of us. I want you at the end of the meeting to think of just one young person who you believe can benefit from Rotaract. Think about the impact that Rotaract has had in my life and imagine the impact that Rotaract has had in several thousands of Rotaractors all over the world. And think about one young person who could also benefit from this impact. Invite them and also connect them with the local Rotaract clubs. And I believe that together we can grow and increase our impact. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Essie. Very, very nice presentations, and we will come back to you for sure. I'm sure there are a lot of questions. But now, Renatas, please, stage is yours.
Good evening. How are you doing on time, if I may ask? Is it all good? Or should
Well,
I rush a
we were
bit?
having originally those 7 minutes each to leave time for question and comments, but let's try to keep it.
Okay, so I actually updated my slides as the call was going. Added a couple more pictures. That's what I noticed I was missing. So let me share the screen then, and we can move on. So forgive me, but I'm trying to see the option to share the screen, and I might not. Yeah, got it. Mhm. Can you see the presentation?
Yes, okay.
Thank you. So, good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here. It is an honor. And also, I have to say, the presentation I prepared now is a bit repetitive because David in the beginning and now Esther did a great job with their presentations, and I will be covering some of the same points. But nonetheless, my topic is Rotaract. It's way more than just a club. Myself, I'm District Rotaract representative for Lithuanian District 1462 and also assistant to the president of Rotaract Europe. Briefly, also, I could mention that I started my path as interactor almost 12 years ago. I've been a charter president of my local Interact club, and 3.5 years ago, I was also a founding member and charter president of Rotaract E-Club Unitum. So when we are talking about exploring new ways to attract people, I think our club was the first e-club in the Northern Baltic region in Europe. So now we have knack. The Rotaract clubs are the most dynamic part of, in a sense that Rotaract has more ways and means than Interact to create change, and they have probably a bit more free time and energy than Rotarians to do so. So I think I agree with the president on this one. But the question I want to answer today with all of you, so why Rotaract is way more than just a club. It's more than just a group of people. And I think the first answer is that it's more than just a club because it is also a way to attract young people to the causes of Rotary. We talked about it already today quite a lot. And there's 3 points of view that I could share here. One is that we attract young people to Rotary, to the causes of Rotary through engaging in projects. We know it, all projects do that, all clubs do their own projects, but young people through Rotaract projects can involve more people who are interested in sensitive topics, who are interested in very relevant topics to the young people, especially when it comes to youth rights, when it comes to education, when it comes to sustainability, local community. It is also a good way to attract young people to Rotary because you create leadership opportunities. And this is my personal experience because of the volunteering, I changed my career path. And because of volunteering, I got the necessary experience to get my first job. Thanks to NGO sector, thanks to organizations like Rotary and Rotaract, I was able to change my path, and I'm happy to say that I'm continuing the same path for the last 4 or 5 years, 4 or 5 years, and it is because of NGOs and their experience I got to do that. And networking with professionals, that is also a great unused potential. If Rotary and Rotaract collaborate, Rotaract can involve more people into Rotary organization overall, and possibly future members as well. And as you can see in the slides, all the bullet points are having the same number. I think that all these 3 points are equally important. Both projects, both leadership opportunities, and also networking with professionals, they're all equally important. So I cannot list that 1, 2, 3, they're all important, and we should all encourage all of these aspects to attract young people to Rotary through Rotaract. Better reach to the wider audience. So again, my philosophy here, those points that I'm about to speak about are equally important because there's no one single answer. Digital presence. We all know that Rotaract involves young people. In some countries, the age average between average Rotaractor and average Rotarian can be decades, if not half a century. And I'm not trying to make the point here by exaggeration. There are countries like this. And young people being in social media all the time, using various platforms, what the previous speaker said, they can reach the people that Rotary clubs through their channels may not have an option to reach. Community integration as well, Rotaract being community-based clubs, whether it's university, whether it's local town, whether it's even businesses, could be in some cases, young professionals and corporations. They have better reach to young specialists, to students, to young professionals who are starting their careers. And what was said before in this webinar as well, inclusive membership. Rotaractors have way more diverse membership, and it can diversify the future membership of Rotary as well. And my club experience here as well can be used because when we started our club in 2022, we had last year students in high school, we had university students, we had young professionals who are starting their first jobs, we had young businessmen as well, and we had young people who were creating families and getting married and starting to have their own children. And it was happening all at the same time. We had very diverse club when it comes to, let's say, income level, social status, marital status, education level. And yeah, this is our club meeting happening last February, so 2024. And the guy on the right side, second row from the bottom, is Henrik Sousa. And he was our speaker. And he was a member of Nobel Peace Commission, Nobel Peace Prize Commission. And we use him for education of our club. But we also had members joining from Rotary clubs. We had people joining from Rotary clubs from other countries like Armenia. And through these speakers and through using eClub, which is again digital online option, we managed to have some really nice guests, not just from our club, but from other clubs. We made connections. And we had some really honorable Rotarians from Lithuanian community joining, which I wouldn't even dream to see in our club meeting. Ensuring new younger members for Rotary clubs, again, all important points, no first, second, third. Talent pipeline, very important Rotaract role in Rotary to ensure the future talents, the young specialists who might be industry leaders later, joining Rotary community through Rotaract is enriching the future Rotarian membership. Skill development, this is what I'm always talking in our local Lithuanian community, that Rotaract gets the necessary skills when it comes to managing the club, when it comes to managing NGOs, when it comes to project management, finances, sponsorship, and all of that, advocacy, negotiations, and those skills that they gain in Rotaract can and will be used in their Rotary path, which means the Rotary clubs are very interested in having as many as possible Rotaractors and as good as it can be rotation. And cultural relevance, Rotaractors, being young people, they're more following the trends in society, in global affairs locally, and the needs of the communities, and they can react faster, they can engage better because they follow the trends, and they can help Rotary as well to follow the trends by initiating projects and reaching out to Rotary for help. And talking about skill development, this is recent photo from last month. This is Rotaract Lithuania leadership meeting, where we had my team. As there are, I have a team of coordinators as well as some of the presidents attending. And we were talking about the skills development, what the club need, what each club needs, what kind of webinars we can do to cover everyone, so that there will not be any traveling, what can be done to have more clubs, what can be done to encourage Rotaractors to go to international events, to go to Rotary district events, to join Rotary clubs. And we have really active community of Rotaractors in Lithuania, but we are trying to push for more, to achieve more, to get involved more. I'm really happy to see this year's generation of Rotaract leaders in Lithuania. And I started with a quote, and I have to finish with a quote, and it is the quote from former President Jennifer Jones, who said Rotaract is not just the future of Rotary, it is the present of Rotary. And when I was preparing my speech for President-elect training session this year in spring, I found a similar quote by, I think, one of the former presidents of United States. And now I'm very happy to see the quote about Rotary Youth, about the Rotaractors from Jennifer Jones, who was the president when I was president of my Rotaract club as well. And yes, it is truth. Rotaractors are the president of Rotary, because if Rotary invests in Rotaractors, from district governor's team to sponsor Rotary clubs, they are investing in their own future, and that is what needs to be encouraged. And I'm very glad to say that we have an amazing relationship in Lithuania between Rotaract community and the Rotary district and Rotary clubs, and it is something that I think could be a webinar on its own, how to create this well-functioning and fruitful relationship. With that in mind, thank you for your attention, and for anyone who wants to connect, this is my LinkedIn QR code, so also a small call to action, and within a few seconds I will shut down it. So if you want to, you can scan it, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Renatas. Yes, I agree. You are the present. You are not just the future. You are the present, because the work you do is amazing. We have heard from you, from Esi, and from many others. So finally, I can give the word to Marco Ranin. He is district governor nominee from Eastern Finland. And I've asked him to talk us about the establishment of a new Rotary club. He was just establishing a new Rotaract club, from last year. And please, Marco, tell us, how did it go?
Hello, everyone. My name is Markku, and I'm living in the city of Mikkeli, which is about 2 hours drive from the Russian border. Our district is the Eastern Finland part of the region, and Russia used to be part of our district in the old days. Today, the European part of Russia. So when I will be governor, I will ask Rotary International to rejoin Russia to our district, because we are suffering from membership loss, and our critical issue in our district is to get new members of clubs, and while the province itself is losing population to other parts of Finland and getting older age as well. So the story begins anyway that
Excuse me, Marco. Sorry, I don't want to disturb you and interrupt, but yes, somebody is sharing, and I don't understand.
Renata is sharing your screen still.
Oh, my apologies. I saw that it was canceled, and I was like, okay, someone should shut me down.
Oh,
Let's just
it
go
was
on
very
LinkedIn.
interesting.
No. Okay. Sorry,
Well, thank you
Marco.
for all the connections, and apologies for technical difficulties.
No problem. Please, Marco, go on.
All right. Well, the story begins that my club here in the city of Mikkeli set up a Facebook page like you all have. But I had the idea of actively using that club Facebook page, not personal, but the club for commenting various issues in the society, commenting on a positive way of companies, associations, and so on. And it seems that we were noticed by many authorities. We started to get invitations for city events and regional government events. One of the events we took part was in a closed room to discuss how we should integrate foreigners who are coming to Finland as immigrants. So we have obviously quite a number of Ukrainians here, but not only Ukrainians, from other parts of the world as well. And the government particular worry was how to integrate these people that they feel at home in the region. And this led to us being invited to a local university called Southeastern Finland University of Applied Sciences, operating in four cities in the region. And they say that they have 500 foreign students, and they plan to integrate or plan to increase that number to 1,500 students in short term. And their main worry was how they foreign students, mainly from Asia, Africa, are feeling integrated into local society, and if Rotary movement could help in this in some way. So I joined Rotary in South Korea, feeling very lonely there in 1998. In a different culture, in a different language. Nobody spoke English there. So Rotary helped me integrate very well into the local society very quickly. So I thought that maybe we could set up a Rotaract club for these students. And we took part in their student events in 4 different cities in Kotka, Kouvola, Mikkeli, and Savonlinna, which are in this eastern part of Finland. Around one of the biggest lakes in Europe is called Lake Saimaa. So the club was thought to have a proper name if it's called Lake Saimaa International Rotaract Club. And these events took place at various times this past winter, and we signed up about 136 names who were interested to join the Rotaract Club. And when I asked these foreign students, do they know Rotary? They knew Rotary very well. and had high respect. And it's quite interesting that some nations Rotary has a very high esteem in particularly in Asia. So if I remember right, all those who said that they are from Nepal, they all signed up for this club. Say that in Nepal, Rotary was very highly appreciated, and say that when I get a job and get old, I want to join Rotary. But anyway, out of this about 136 names we got, unfortunately, they were in a very busy time written by hand on a piece of paper, and I couldn't read their email addresses. So I lost quite a number of them. So in the end, we had 24 young students starting up at this Lake Saimaa Rotaract Club, and it was registered officially last day of previous season, 30th of June. They are mostly Asian, African origin. There are a few Finns, and so very international club indeed. And it's an e-club, net club. So these 24 youngsters, they are mainly from 2 different cities and a few others from 2-3 other cities. So being an e-club, it reaches the whole region here, and English speaking, of course. So this is too early to tell how it's gonna succeed, but so far so good, and we are very hopeful to increase the membership fast. In fact, the university I mentioned asked, that could we actually admit 1,000 Rotaractors in our club, 2/3 of their foreign student body. So there's much potential. And but not only that university, we have 2 other colleges and universities also represented in this grouping. But anyway, keeping my speech very short, I would just like to pick up 2 notes which were raised in our district. Martti Sjölund proposed that, for example, this returning Rotex rebound youngsters could join automatically Rotaract Club. It's not a big number, but this could formalize their existence in the Rotary umbrella very well. And I made a personal note as well, studying the statistics of Rotaractors, that in last call meeting it was rejected that that Rotaractors would have an age limit, and the statistics show that there are even Rotaractors over 70 years of age. So all ages are welcome. And my thinking is that could Rotaractor also become a Rotary retiree center? Because I suspect that in my district, older members, one main reason they want to leave Rotary was that the fees are too big for their pension funds, and also they cannot move around that easily anymore in meetings. So perhaps a e-club, Rotaract Club, might serve them well in their retiring years. We would not lose their membership in Rotary movement, and maybe even if Rotaract Club is associated being for young people, maybe the very young and the very old could actually form an interesting picture in the future. This would be perhaps one way of keeping our departing older members in the Rotary movement. So, keeping short, I think I used my 5 minutes.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Marco. Yes, you gave us a very nice model how to engage new Rotaract Club and how to establish new ones. So we have maybe to be more active with university and other school and make the first step. But now we have a few minutes for questions or comments. So please raise your hands and I will give you the voice. Is there anyone who is willing to comment? Actually, I can't see. Maybe Marty, if you are. Davide. Yes,
Yeah,
Davide, and then Susan. Yes, please.
Yes. Oh, well, no, Susan first. I mean, absolutely.
It's Italian gentleman, Susan. Thank you.
Sorry, guys, I have to leave. I just want to thank the speakers, but I do want to ask the Rotaractors, would it be a possible way strategically to try and move Rotaract clubs over, the whole club over to become a Rotary club? Would that be a way forward? What's your thinking?
I think, if I may, I think there were cases like that in Lithuania in the past, at least partially or fully they have moved, and I think there were some Rotary clubs that were founded by alumni, purely by alumni of Rotaract. So I don't know if it had been, but the age challenge probably is the big one. If the core of the membership is, let's say, hitting 30, then it's possible. But if it is, let's say, only 5 people and then you need to wait for others, then it's likely to cooperate between the Rotaract clubs overall, and that generation creates a new one, probably. I would say so, but that's my opinion.
I also think it could be possible if only the RI, the RI dues per person remains the same as for Rotaract. Because with Rotaract, we are mostly younger people, mostly students. Most of us are now entering the corporate world or getting employment. So I think it would be a challenge if at that level in our lives, we need to pay the same amount as the other Rotary clubs are paying. So that could be a challenge.
Okay, Susan, are you satisfied with the question? Can we now switch?
Yeah, unless David and Marco has some to add there. They're raising their
Yes,
hand.
yes, Davide, please.
Yes, just 2 quick notes, which in fact are related to this. One is an experience a few years ago. I was responsible for expansion in my district, and we created 2 new Rotary clubs made of all former Rotaractors who had left Rotaract but did not become Rotarians for many reasons. There's no time to explain all the reasons, but they were successful examples. They a little bit hard at the beginning, and now they're working very well, and they have become true Rotary clubs. So I think there is place for clubs made of former Rotaractors. And one second thing I want to say, I don't know in your zones and regions, I think we need to push more on dual membership, Rotary and Rotaract, because that's a way to make Rotaractors become more aware of what Rotary is, while not losing Rotaract. Sometimes they don't want to lose it. Okay, so they can do both things. Of course, there's an issue with the dues. We need to understand how to avoid Rotaractors having to pay 2 fees, because what as he was saying is absolutely right. But I think that dual membership is a way to keep Rotaractors in the Rotary world.
Thank you, Davide and Marco. And was it Nicola also having the hands up? Or
Yeah, I just wanted to add, maybe you're not all aware, but the Rotary International pay for Rotaractor is eight US dollars per year. So there's no way the students would afford these normal Rotary membership fees. Same applies to the retirees who may be leaving the clubs because they can't afford to pay anymore. So financial issues are there. And if you are Rotary member, you can join a Rotaract club without extra fee. No problem.
okay. So is there some other hands up?
Yeah,
Was it-
I did,
Yes.
but I put it down, but I just wanted to add to the conversation of my fellow Rotaractors. I mean, on the topic of dual membership, it is a good possibility. I'm trying to push it in the region where I am. I'm the DRR of District 2483, Serbian Montenegro. And I think it could be a good way, but S is also right because as I'm a dual member, I think I don't know if your Rotary Club pays for your fees or you pay for them by yourself, but if you're a dual member, you do get 2 dual fees, at least to Rotary International and to Rotary District or your local district, or at least I do. So yeah, some people even that is the thing, but stretched through a year, I think it's okay. It's not that much of money. It's more of a add on 10 to 20% on your normal Rotaract fees of your club fees. But the thing for Rotaractors, I think, and I'm glad to see a lot of older Rotarians asking about Rotaract, especially because we're dying off, commenting, and I'll use my chance to comment on all the presentations, especially I love you Rotary officials and thank you, but thank you to our lovely Rotaractors. I have to support my colleagues as much as possible. I wanted to add the thing with young people now and Rotaractors, I feel, is the generations are changing and you can't. When I was younger, and I'm not that old, I'm 27, we had like a feeling, a duty that we want to help. Now there's less and less people who are doing it just for that, especially in countries like the Balkans where I'm from, when everyone asks you, and I'm in Rotaract as a member from 2017 as an official member, everyone asks you, what do you have from that? What's your angle? Where's the money? So unfortunately, and then you have the speech and everything written down. I think now there's less and less quality people who are doing it for selfless reasons. Of course, networking and everything else, in my opinion, is just a benefit of being a part of this family and community. So that's, I think, the biggest struggle we have to face. Essie and Renata's really try to approach it, and I do agree to try and stimulate Rotaractors with joining dual membership, and also to all the Rotarians here. If you have Rotary clubs, I know we're equals. We're not sponsored by you. But if you're doing projects with Rotaractors, the biggest problem we had, and I saw that on the Zone Institute of Zone 21, a lot of Rotarians do want to listen, but they don't want to hear us, or they want to hear us, but they're not actually listening to us what we want to say. Thank you so much for this time, and sorry if I took a bit longer.
No, you're welcome, and it's nice that you are taking part from Serbia and Montenegro. So it's very international point of view here. So I think the time now is past 9, and I always with Mingaile we promise to keep like 1 hour. Just I now want just to thank all the speakers, of course, because you were very inspiring and very, very lovely speeches you have kept, but also all of you have been attending. Thank you very much. And I will give to Mingaile also the last words before closing this.
Really, it's always a pleasure to speak about Rotaract, because Rotaract is like the key to grow for Rotary. So let's all of us who participate tonight, let's listen and hear Rotaractors. And I know what does that mean to be a Rotaractor, because I started and joined Rotary 10 years ago as a Rotaractor, and 5 years ago I became a Rotarian. And I can see the difference in the last years, that the attitude and the relationship or partnership between Rotaractors and Rotary has changed a lot in a good way. And let's continue that, and let's just make even closer and better that we can attract and invite. Sometimes people from Rotaract, we just don't join Rotary because we miss this invitation. So let's be open, invite them, and keep them in the family in the future. So thank you very much, everyone, for taking this wonderful evening together, and see you next time.